Ever just stare at your screen, feeling that information overload? Or maybe you're just grinding through the same repetitive tasks day after day. It really drains you, doesn't it? Now imagine if a big chunk of that could just sort of disappear. Or, even better, what if the systems you use didn't just tell you what to do next, but actually, did it for you? Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something that's, well, it's more than just buzzworthy. It's genuinely changing things. Artificial intelligence in the pharmaceutical industry. And we're not talking about your standard AI, the kind that crunches numbers or writes a quick summary. Nope, we're diving into a newer, more active form. What they're calling Agentic AI. This kind of AI is evolving to actually make decisions and take actions on its own. It brings up this fascinating tension, right, between needing personalized engagement and that absolute demand for compliance in pharma. Yeah, our source material for this deep dive is really insightful.
There's a great article, The Rise of Agentic AI in Pharma, that compares how two big players, Salesforce, their Agentforce, and Veeva, with their very established workflows, are tackling this. So our mission today, let's try and cut through the jargon. Let's explore what Agentic AI really means for pharma teams and how these two approaches differ, hopefully, so you can get a better sense of which might fit different situations you might encounter.
Exactly. And when we say agentic AI, we really are talking about a shift. It's moving beyond AI that just, recommends something or helps you find info. We're talking about systems that can actually perform tasks, sometimes across multiple steps, almost like having a digital team member, really. So think about it. This could mean the system sending out personalized emails to HCP's healthcare providers, or maybe drafting a response to a tricky medical question. It might automatically update records or trigger a whole sequence of follow-up actions, all without someone manually kicking it off each time. The key difference, I think, is that these systems act on real-time information and what they've learned, not just on pre-programmed, rigid rules. So for instance, maybe an HCP clicks on a link to a new clinical paper, and Agentic AI could see that signal, then automatically follow up with some related content, or maybe even flag it for a field rep. It's driven by that live interaction. Right, so why is pharma an industry known for being super cautious and regulated, paying so much attention? Well, because in this sector, you need precision, speed, and absolutely watertight compliance. These smarter systems promise to make those day-to-day tasks much faster, much more accurate. But it's more than just efficiency, isn't it? Think about the strategic side. Imagine cutting the time it takes to get crucial info about a new therapy out to your field teams, from weeks down to days. That could directly speed up how quickly a new treatment gets adopted. That's the kind of leverage we're talking about with Agentic AI. It's moving beyond just automating simple tasks towards something that gives you a real competitive edge. It streamlines things that currently take up a lot of human time and focus.
That strategic leverage sounds, well, huge, especially in such a fast-moving industry. Okay, so with that picture of Agentic AI in mind, how is Salesforce actually putting this into practice? Let's unpack this Agentforce thing. What's the philosophy behind it? How does it work? It sounds pretty dynamic.
Yeah, Salesforce Agentforce is definitely designed with efficiency and intelligence at its core. The goal is to help pharma teams automate tasks, but in a smart, seamless way. It's a key part of their bigger picture, the Salesforce Einstein 1 platform. For anyone not familiar, think of that as their main AI and data engine that connects everything across their different products. And this platform is really built to integrate data in real time with AI-driven actions. So Agentforce, by its nature, is dynamic. It's built to adapt. Now, there are a few key tools making this happen. First, there's Einstein Copilot. That's like your smart assistant. You interact with it, maybe through chat, tell it what you need, and it helps orchestrate the tasks to get it done. Then you've got Data Cloud. This is absolutely critical. It's the central hub pulling together all your customer data, engagement data, everything in real time. This gives the AI the context it needs to act intelligently right now. And finally, and this is super important for pharma, there's Prompt Builder. This is the tool that lets your team set the rules, define what the AI can do, and just as importantly, what it can't do. It's all about creating those essential guardrails, making sure everything stays safe, compliant, and within the regulatory lines. You get the power of automation, but controlled and auditable. Okay, let's make it concrete. The source gives some good examples. Say you're on a commercial team. A brand manager wants to follow up with doctors who registered for a webinar but didn't attend. Instead of someone manually pulling lists, drafting emails, Agentforce can identify that specific audience segment. Then it can draft personalized follow-up emails using pre-approved content templates naturally. And then it schedules the send, all with minimal human touch required. Think about the time that saves on outreach alone. Or take medical affairs. Maybe a field medical rep gets a really complex, specific question from an HCP. Normally, that might mean digging through databases, waiting for an expert review. With Agentforce, the system could review similar past questions and their approved answers. It could draft a potential reply, and then it routes that draft straight to the required review team for the final okay. The rep bypasses all that manual searching. Response times get faster, and you ensure consistency.
Wow, yeah. That really sounds like it could change the day-to-day for people on the ground. So how does a field rep's day actually look different with Agentforce? If those mundane tasks are handled, what are they focusing on instead? What's the high-value work they can now prioritize?
It really shifts the focus. Because Agentforce learns and adapts, it lets teams move away from spending so much time on those, repetitive operational things. They can pivot towards more strategic thinking, more high-level engagement. So
Yeah.
for that field rep, instead of hours spent writing follow-up notes or searching for answers, they could be using that time for deeper preparation before meeting
Yeah.
with a key opinion leader, or building stronger relationships, or maybe analyzing local market trends to fine-tune their strategy. It's really about empowering people to use their expertise for thinking and innovating, not just executing routine tasks.
Okay, so Salesforce is definitely pushing towards that dynamic, adaptable AI. But what about Veeva? They're such a powerhouse, especially known for that rock-solid compliance focus. How do their established workflows fit into this AI picture? Or maybe how do they differ?
Veeva's approach is, well, fundamentally different, and it's deeply integrated into their Vault platform. Many people in pharma know Vault well. It's their core system for managing regulated content and processes. Veeva workflows are really designed to guide teams through very specific, repeatable, rule-based steps. Think content management, field activity reporting, medical communications. The big emphasis here is on structure, on control, making absolutely sure every single action aligns with predefined protocols. It's built for consistency. So when you look at their common features, you see things like approved email. That allows reps to choose from a pre-vetted library of compliant emails to send after a meeting. Very straightforward, very controlled. Then you have tools like PromoMats for promotional materials and MedComs for medical communications. These are central to the MLR review process, medical, legal, regulatory. Getting that stamp of approval is everything. And something like Capture provides a really structured way to track meetings, sample distribution, and any required follow-ups. It's all about creating that clear, verifiable, auditable trail for every interaction. Let's look at the examples for Veeva too. On the commercial side, after an HCP visit, the rep typically goes into the system, selects an appropriate pre-approved email, maybe adds a minor personalization if allowed, and sends it. The system then automatically logs that email, links it to the visit record. There's no room for deviation from the approved process or content. It's designed for maximum consistency and compliance tracking. Or in medical affairs, an inquiry from an HCP comes in, it gets logged in Vault. Then it moves through a very clearly defined sequence of review and response steps. Every step is mandated, tracked. What's really key here is how Veeva ensures every single step adheres perfectly to those established protocols. That provides immense stability. A highly predictable environment, which is absolutely essential for certain critical pharma operations.
Okay, putting them side by side like that, it really does feel like we're looking at two different philosophies at play here. If you had to boil it down, what's the single most important distinction a pharma leader needs to really get their head around when they're thinking about these two approaches?
You've nailed it. It really comes down to that core difference. Dynamic flexibility versus structured control. Agentforce, being part of that Einstein 1 platform, it offers significant flexibility and, potentially, speed. It's designed to learn from real-time data, adapt its actions, maybe even generate content or responses dynamically based on the specific situation. It's adaptable. Veeva, on the other hand, prioritizes stability and control above all else. It absolutely excels in those highly structured, repeatable processes where consistency and ironclad compliance are the top priorities. Its workflows are rule-based, they're predefined, they don't automatically change based on real-time signals or learned behavior in the same way. The system guides users through a fixed sequence. So it really forces that important question for any team. For this specific task or this process, what do we need more? Adaptability or predictability? Answering that often points you towards the right kind of tool.
That makes sense. But for someone looking at bringing more AI into their work, especially seeing these quite distinct options, it could feel, well, pretty overwhelming. Where do you even start? The sources must offer some practical advice, right? How can teams begin planning for agentic AI without trying to, boil the ocean?
Oh, absolutely. It can seem daunting, but the sources do give some very practical, actionable steps. First off, spot the bottlenecks. Where are your teams, reps, medical liaisons, whoever, spending way too much time on things that are repetitive and, frankly, low value add? Those are usually your prime candidates to look at first for automation. Second, and this is crucial, start small. You definitely don't need to automate everything all at once. In pharma, starting small isn't just about risk management, it's also about building trust internally. You need to show the value, demonstrate the ROI, especially for new tech in an industry that can be, understandably, cautious. So maybe begin with lower risk applications. Things like suggesting email content or helping segment audiences for outreach or even just routing inquiries more efficiently. These are manageable first steps that can deliver real value quickly and build confidence in the technology. Third, and you can't say this enough in pharma, keep compliance absolutely top of mind. Those guardrails we talked about, like Salesforce's Prompt Builder or your existing robust MLR workflows in Veeva, they are essential. They ensure that whatever the AI is doing, it's operating strictly within the required regulatory boundaries. You automate, yes, but always responsibly and with oversight. And finally, train your teams gradually. These tools, especially interactive ones like Einstein Copilot, work best when people know how to use them effectively. Users need to be comfortable giving clear, precise instructions to the AI. So it's really about teaching your team how to partner with the AI, how to leverage its capabilities, not just throwing the tech at them and expecting magic.
That's really practical advice. Start small, stay compliant, train people. It's not about a sudden switch, more like a thoughtful integration process. So given these different strengths, the dynamic versus the controlled, is it really an either-and situation for pharma companies? Or are we likely to see more of a blended approach?
I definitely think we'll see a much more integrated, blended future. The reality is, as the sources point out, most pharma companies already use a mix of different systems for different needs, and that's likely how AI will fit in too. Think about a plausible scenario. A company uses Salesforce for their CRM, managing sales interactions, but relies heavily on Veeva for content approval and compliance tracking. They might strategically decide to use Agentforce first for, say, automating lower-risk commercial campaigns, maybe following up with event attendees where that dynamic, personalized touch can really make an impact. But at the same time, they would absolutely keep their process for responding to complex medical inquiries firmly locked within Veeva's highly structured, rigorously controlled workflows. Because there, compliance and accuracy are paramount, non-negotiable. Then, maybe over time, as they get more comfortable and see the results, they could gradually expand how they use Agentforce, perhaps using it to coordinate actions more broadly across sales, service, maybe marketing teams, leveraging its adaptability. So, connecting it back to the bigger picture, it really doesn't seem like you have to pick just one platform for absolutely everything. The key is likely using the right tool for the right job, aligning your AI strategy with your specific business goals, and understanding the unique strengths each platform offers.
Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive. What we've really seen is that Veeva's established workflows offer that incredible consistency and control that's invaluable for those highly regulated pharma processes where certainty is key. And then on the other side, you have Salesforce Agentforce, bringing this smart, real-time, adaptable automation. That allows for more dynamic, more personalized interactions, especially useful where agility gives you an edge. Both platforms clearly support the complex needs of life sciences teams, just in quite different ways. So whether you're, say, a brand manager needing smarter campaigns, or a medical affairs lead dealing with inquiry volume, or maybe an IT director planning your digital roadmap, Agentic AI presents some powerful possibilities. Scaling personalization, cutting down that manual effort, better coordinating across different functions like sales, service, marketing. So here's a final thought to leave you with. As this kind of AI keeps evolving, how might this whole idea of adaptability versus control start to shift things? Not just your technology choices, but maybe the actual roles and strategies of your teams within the pharmaceutical industry. What new possibilities could that open up for you and your work in the next few years? Something to consider.